So we set a table for two for lunch, for a spontaneous, impulsive lunch on the beach today. And here we are. Water is pretty strong today. It's a little bit of a breeze. Feels wonderful in the sunshine. Excited about lunch today?
We're having lunch today on the beach. It's a rather mild day. Temperature in the 60s, the sun is shining. It's just a lovely day to have lunch at the beach.
Yeah, and I don't think we've ever been to this particular beach club. Look how casual. Love those comfy chairs over there. Would probably be a great place to come and have a cocktail, watch the sunset later on. So hello to everyone from the beautiful south of France, here on the beach in Nice.
I watch you as you drive. Do you know I'm looking? And I can't help but smile. Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on. I put my feet up, and we just sing along. And I can't help but feeling, just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause I'm just loving.
So for lunch I'm having the filet of loup, which is actually Mediterranean sea bass, and it has purple artichokes and fresh vegetables. So very healthy lunch. Jeff is having the grilled octopus. And it's another gorgeous day here in Nice. For those of you looking for the sand on the beach, there it is. Right under the volleyball court. Lots of sand. Look how blue that water is. Never get tired of looking at it. I think the summer season is officially underway here. And of course, this is one of the nice beach clubs along the beach. Quite a difference from wintertime. In wintertime, all of this was gone. Now we have the umbrellas set up, tables, chairs, chaise lounges. It's a lovely place to go for an afternoon in the sunshine, or just lunch, or just a cocktail. And there are beach clubs like this dotted all along the promenade.
Ouais, comme ça je cherche la voiture.
we're going to use these gold tiles, and we are going to go all across the kitchen over here. We're going to skip this center dividing wall, and then we'll pick up on the other side of the sink and go all the way along. And here we have the finished product. Look how pretty. And then we added a couple of inexpensive mats for the floor to pick up the gold. And now I think our kitchen is complete. Oh yeah, we bought a toaster oven. We didn't have that before. And we bought an ice maker. So, of course, we want the most complete kitchen, right? One of the things that we don't have here in France is a refrigerator that makes ice. So, for the most part, we have this small freezer. I hate showing it to you because it needs to be defrosted. Anyway, we have this small freezer that half of it used to be ice cube trays because we're two of those Americans that like ice. So, we were having lunch with our friends, Mike and Love Day last week, and they just moved here permanently to Nice, and one of the first things they said they had to buy was, of course, an ice maker, and I thought, what? An ice maker? And they said, well, yeah. You need an ice maker. We're Americans. We like to have ice in our drinks. So, what a great idea. And I'm constantly irritated that we don't have enough room in our freezer to buy more than 1 or 2 packages of meat or vegetables or whatever we want to keep on hand in the freezer. So, I went to Amazon and I found us an ice maker. It makes very cute little ice cubes. It has this little scoop here. And, whoops. And so we still need a container in the freezer that we scoop all of the ice into. However, this makes ice in about 9 minutes. It looks like Jeff has cleaned out the little thing. He probably put it all in his cup of Orangina or whatever he's drinking right now. But anyway, if you're Americans and you're missing having ice at the ready or the ice maker on the refrigerator, like a lot of us had back in the U.S., just get one of these. And it doesn't take up all that much space on the counter. So, I mean, here's our cooktop, and what did I move out of the way? Some box with some pills that I take every day. I can put that someplace else. So, now we have ice.
Well, today we're going to address one of the problems many people have when moving into an apartment. In our entryway, they have centered the light fixture in the ceiling. And we have a doorway that leads down the hallway. And what we're doing is using this as a dining area, which means that the table that we have here is offset from where the light fixture hangs. So today we're going to show you the secret on how to swag a fixture over and get it centered on the table. So the tools for our little project today are fairly simple. The first thing I did was went to Monoprix, and at Monoprix I bought a longer cord set. And what will happen is this cord set is long enough that we'll change out the fixture that we've got. And the other thing to be aware of is in Europe, they use a different wiring setup. We use wire nuts to connect everything when we do wiring in America. Here in Europe, they use small clamps that clamp down on the wires. And in Europe, there are a blue wire, a black wire, and a yellow wire. The yellow wire in Europe is a ground wire. The blue and the black are the feeds. And what you need is a little screwdriver to loosen up those screws, and you just slip the wires into that connector and put it together. The tools that we're going to need for this is a screwdriver with that tip and a little Phillips screwdriver to undo the bracket on the ceiling. So now what I'm doing is I'm loosening up these clamps, and when I take the other fixture down, I will just zip those wires into these slots and change out this fixture for the one that's up top. By doing that, I'll have a longer lead, and the longer wire will let me swing over and get this fixture centered over the table. This is the old fixture sitting on the table. And now this is the new longer wire wired up and connected. And all I'm going to do is push it up and put the screws to hold that black cap tight to the ceiling. So now I've got my lovely assistant Anne to help me. I've relocated the fixture and she's going to give it a test and see how it works. And voila! And now you can see that the fixture is centered over our dining table.
Much better.
By swagging over from the existing junction box to a hook in the ceiling and then down to the table. Hope that helps you on your little projects. And just remember, in France, there are no junction boxes in these older buildings. They just use the wire and those little plastic clips. All right, au revoir. And our last step is to put the paper globe back over the fixture and have the fixture centered over the table.
Okay. This is not going to be the light fixture.
And as a final step here, we'll be putting this paper back up around as a temporary fixture here in this lovely dining area. And of course, many of you may realize this is a fixture from IKEA, which is inexpensive and will probably be replaced as soon as Anne finds something better to look at.
And then after all of that, we decided we didn't like that light. So we went out and we purchased this new light about a month ago. And I will turn it on. And there you go. So we like that a whole lot better. The other one just didn't give us enough light on the table. And this one is so much better. So since you last saw a tour of our apartment, we've made some changes in our guest room. We put up, this is a wall unit, and it goes from here all the way over to here, and it has a desk, and there's a lovely desk chair that Jeff found in his trash walk with Bella one night. Look how nice this chair is. And somebody literally just put it out for trash. So anyway, he found that to go with this desk. Now this piece goes up, just like that. And this came with this section here. That's where you would hide your computer if you wanted to keep your laptop in here and other things. Put that in there. And that gives us all this floor space here in the guest room. And then now, believe it or not, behind these cabinets is all kinds of storage. Jeff put shelving up there, and we've moved things around a little bit. And our dryer is right here now. And he also bought this unit in IKEA, actually. And I love this unit. I only wish our master bedroom had space in it for me to have one like this. This drawer comes out, and he can line up all of his slacks on the drawer. And this drawer comes out, and he can put socks, all kinds of stuff here. So this is fabulous for Jeff, for his clothing. And he has that upper area up there. Well, the Christmas tree surround thing, that's just being stored up there. But this armoire unit starts where the white starts, just under the boogie board that's up there as well. But so this is a very nice unit. And for those of you that are wondering why Jeff's got his stuff in here, he was nice enough to give me the entire master bedroom closet, which isn't such a big deal technically because it's not huge. And so now you've seen where all the storage is hidden. Now let's show you where the bed is when you need the bed. So when you're all done working for the day, you fold your computer up, close the desk, slide your laptop right in that nice little pocket, and then you have to operate this from only the back sides there because it's on a certain weight. And then it comes down. And there we have our fully made bed. Just a few little adjustments. You need to tuck that little blanket down. And then it has legs that come down on the sides here. And there's one at this end. And there's another at that end. And voila. And then you've got a bedroom. And this worked out perfectly for us. This allows Jeff to hang out here and watch movies on his laptop when nobody's visiting us and when we have company. The bed comes down, the laptop goes away. And it's perfect. And we have a nice sliding door that leads to beautiful fresh air outside. And I think he did an excellent job on this. I think he's going to be doing some additional, what do you call it, molding? Or
Yes, molding to trim it out. And that
molding,
moldings
like some decorative thing to
trim it
finish
out.
off the end there.
And this is our conversion of our junk room to an office slash guest room.
Yeah, I think he really, really did a great job. So kudos to Jeff. There's that great picture that he found in Montagne, or actually watched the artist do in Montagne. So another perfect addition to our sweet apartment here in Nice, France. So today my project is to convert some of the spices and things that I've got here in the apartment, where I've just got them in bags. These are some things that I picked up when we were in Barcelona recently. And I don't like to just keep them in plastic bags. So I went to, I believe it is Temu, T-E-M-U. And I bought this case of these miniature jars. And I like them because they have these, the seal on the top of the lid, so that when you put spices in there, it keeps them very fresh. So this is my project for today. And then they also had this tape that you buy, and it comes with a white pen, so it's like a chalkboard kind of a sticker, so that I can label the jars with what's in them. And if I don't want to use that label anymore, I just take that label off, and I've got a whole roll here of more labels. So this was a set of 12 jars. I really originally only wanted like 3 or 4, but I got a lot more, so I think I'm going to move some other spices into these jars. So Jeff had added this cabinet that slides out for me. This was not here before. And as you can see, I've sort of got a mix of seasonings, herbs and spices and things. So I'm going to see what loose things I have. Like here's looks like a box of bay leaves hidden in there, and I can convert them to a jar. And I know that in the cabinet somewhere I've got peppercorns, and I think I have maybe some salt with a grinder, and I have some other seasonings. So that's what I am going to do with those jars. This set of jars was very inexpensive. I will post on the screen what I paid for them. But I have found that for kitchen things, that site Temu just happens to be a really good place to get things. And these came relatively cheap. I mean, we've been home from Barcelona now for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. And I wasn't in a hurry, and so they just arrived today. So this is my project for today. Here we have one done. So I didn't do a whole lot of them, but I did have like curries that I picked up in Spain are in here, and I had purchased some smoky paprika. So I've used 5 of the jars, and then I've got all the extras down there on the bottom as I find the time and decide to start moving other things into them.
C'est ça.
There's a message drifting in the air. If you listen, you will notice music.
So because of the ocean conference, even the flea market here is getting a facelift to make sure everything is nice and pretty for the coming conference. So since it's an international conference, of course, we've got all of the yachts backed up here to the dock for all the people to come to the conference. And because security is pretty high, we've got check-in stations and metal scanners like you have at the airport in order to be able to enter the space where the conference will be hidden. So it looks like what they're hoping is most people will come by tram to the port and then enter through the main entrance here, go through security, and then work their way on to the conference.
So today we're at the market. We're looking for fresh herbs for the baskets just off of our kitchen. Aren't these pretty? Look at all the lovely peonies today. So I hadn't planned on doing a video at this restaurant that we stopped at here in Old Town for lunch, but I ordered a seafood salad. Isn't that wonderful? And it's delicious. It's seafood that was sauteed in olive oil and basil. And Jeff is having
A delicious vegetable soup.
Got lots of vegetables in his soup. Look how big that bowl of soup is. And we just stopped here for a light lunch. Delicious. I'll show you the front of the place after we're finished. So here's the check for our lunch and a flyer. So this is the name of the place, Chez Freddy. And our lunch was delicious. So we would definitely recommend checking out Chez Freddy if you're here in Old Town at Corsalia at the market. We walked right in without a reservation.
And so here we are, just finished our lovely lunch. And as we pan around the restaurant, you'll see we come, oh, there she is. There's Anne herself. So Anne, how was the seafood salad? Quite interesting, wasn't it?
It was delicious.
Delicious.
No salad on it, but delicious.
Delicious. Well, good. All right. What would you give this? 2 thumbs up? All right. Well, good.
And this is where we had lunch today, at Chez Freddy. Again, unexpected, hadn't planned on coming here, but the food was very good. So if you're looking for some seafood, definitely check out Chez Freddy right here at Corsalia. These are the specials today. in English too. And they do speak English here, English, French, whatever. So definitely come and check out Chez Freddy. Some lavender, parsley, beautiful basil, and we also bought some chives, but we don't have a pot for them yet. Jeff is going to go pick up another pot. It's the pot of chives. We just need to get a pot for them. And then we'll have all of them. And they're right outside my kitchen door, right near the part of the kitchen counter that I usually use to chop things up. And then we also got this pretty little pot of purple flowers. Aren't they lovely? And this is our thriving terrace garden. Of course, we have our herbs over here, which is just perfect. These are the herbs I use most often, hoping our lavender will bloom soon. And jasmine is already in bloom, and it smells heavenly. I love jasmine. And we've got a gorgeous fuchsia plant here. Back in the United States, I bought so many of these when I lived in New Jersey. I killed every single one of them. This one, we just water it every other day, and it just thrives. And of course, our gardenias. You know, when I first moved here, the lady who does my nails told me to buy lots of gardenias. I had complimented her gardenias that were sitting in the window of her little nail salon. And I said, they're so pretty. And she said, oh, you have to have them because they prevent mosquitoes. She said, here in France, they don't use any kind of pesticides. Like if you grew up in the 50s and 60s like I did, at least here, not here, but at least in Pennsylvania where I grew up, in the summertime, these big trucks would go up and down the street billowing pesticides to kill the mosquitoes. And then many years later, when I moved to Florida, the planes above would drop the pesticides from the planes when you were asleep at night to get rid of the mosquitoes. Well, they don't do any of that here in France. Everything is very natural. And they told us, or she, my nail lady, told me that gardenias are a natural deterrent to mosquitoes. So we bought lots of gardenias last year. Geraniums. We bought lots of geraniums last year. So the geraniums are a natural deterrent for mosquitoes. And we were here all last summer. Never had any problems with mosquitoes. So get yourself lots of geraniums if you're going to be living here in Nice to keep the mosquitoes away. And this is a hydrangea. We thought the hydrangea had sort of died. We went away to Spain. When we came back, it looked like it was just dead. And I clipped off all of the old blossoms, and look how nice it's coming back. But in the meantime, when I thought we lost the other hydrangea, we went and we bought a new one. So now we have two hydrangeas. So we've got a lovely area here. And of course, this is our lemon tree. Look at all the blossoms that were not blossoms. Well, we do have some blossoms. Got some blossoms and buds, and hopefully we will have lots of lemons this year. And our olive tree is looking good. And this is our clementine tree. I don't see any buds on that yet, but hopefully soon. And lily of the valley, which is my favorite flower in the world, has come, and it's now starting to go away until next year. But we bought an extra couple of plants, and lily of the valley spreads. So we're probably going to put it all in a bigger pot, and hopefully next year we'll get even more lily of the valley than we have here. This is another fuchsia plant that we bought that when we were away in Spain didn't get enough water, and we thought it too was gone, but I clipped off all the dead leaves and blossoms, and we're bringing this one back to life. So we have a beautiful terrace here, and it's so nice to sit out here. I've already been using my herbs for some things that I prepared for some company for apéro just last night. And life goes on in beautiful Nice, France, where we are literally living the time of our lives.
Just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause I'm just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? Forever. Forever. Forever.